Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So, we were talking about India Sri Lanka relations, and in it, today we are about to discuss about another reason of dispute between both the countries, that is the fishermen issue. Okay, and the another thing we will be talking about the economic crisis which had hit Sri Lanka in basically majorly it was majorly in the year of 2022. Okay, so we will be talking about it and how India actually helped Sri Lanka when there was the need. So, talking about the fishermen issue, see people, basically it's a humanitarian issue. ठीक है, fishermen of both the countries are affected because of it. See, when it comes to, like, the first thing is कि when they cross the maritime boundary line which is there between India and Pakistan, the navy of each, like, of the respective country, they arrest the fishermen, and because of that they are arrested and they languish in jail for years and years. Okay, so this is one of the issue. Another thing is ki this is an example that it during the civil war which was basically happened during the years of 2006 to 2009, which happened, Indian fishermen were mistaken to be the supporters of LTTE and they were shot at. Okay, then another thing is the use of bottom trawlers. Actually, these are the machines which are basically used only by the Indian fishermen. Okay, these are used by Indian fishermen in the Sri Lankan waters, and because of which the basically when it comes to the Sri Lankan fishermen, they use the conventional methods of fishing, whereas the Indian fishermen, they are more advanced and they use these bottom trawlers. They use this mechanized form of fishing, and because of which it is impacting the livelihood of the Sri Lankan fishermen as well. So it is more of fishermen issue is more of a humanitarian issue. Okay, so see, this is the issue. Now we have to talk about, like, what was the origin of this dispute. Origin of dispute, it's because of the 1974 and 76 maritime boundary agreement. So this was a maritime boundary agreement which actually took place between the countries of India and Sri Lanka. They actually tried to resolve this dispute, like कि कहाँ से इन द सी, कि कहाँ से इन द ओशन, इन द पार्क बे या फिर इन द पार्क स्ट्रेट, कहाँ से देयर इज द बाउंड्री ऑफ, कि कहाँ से इंडिया की बाउंड्री खत्म होती है और श्रीलंका की स्टार्ट होती है. तो से देयर वाज दिस काइंड ऑफ डिस्प्यूट वाज देयर. सो दे ट्राइड टू रिजॉल्व दिस डिस्प्यूट, एंड इस डिस्प्यूट में इंडिया सीडेड Kachativu Island to Sri Lanka, and this island is basically the major cause of dispute. And ये जो island है, this has been recently in the news as well, in the year of 2023 as well. This island was there in news, and in the year of 2024, I guess in the month of March, April as well, this island was there in news. So we are going to discuss about it in a great detail. Okay, so Kachativu Island. So it is a pair of uninhabited islands which are located in the Park Strait between the southeastern coast of India and the northern coast of Sri Lanka. Let me show you, like, where this island is exactly located. See, this is the location of the Kachadhivu Island, and this red line is the international maritime boundary line which has been agreed as a part of 1974 and 76 agreement. So basically you can easily observe that this island is actually on the side of Sri Lanka. Okay, so what actually happened is something we should know. See, this is about the details it is key of this island only, that this has been historically significant due to its strategic location and also its importance in the fishing activities. Okay, so this is an inhabited barren island. कुछ नहीं है इस island पे. This is a barren island except one thing, that is this Saint Anthony Church, which was used to take rest and dry their fishing nets by the fishermen. Like fishermen used to use this island for the purpose of taking rest and for drying their fishing nets. And otherwise, there is this Saint Anthony Church. So this island, this Kachativo island, so we are basically talking about the history of it. This island was a part of Zamindari of Raja of Ramnad, which eventually became the part of Madras Presidency. So the island was actually, so the island at present, see, it was the part of Madras Presidency. So this island is actually claimed by the state of Tamil Nadu. This is important point. Like why the state of Tamil Nadu, the governments of Tamil Nadu, they are not ready to accept this ceding of Kachativu Island to Sri Lanka, why they are not happy with it. So this is the reason, because this was considered to be the part of Madras Presidency. So that's why this island is claimed by the state of Tamil Nadu. Okay, so this is what the, so this that's why the Tamil Nadu government is one of the stakeholder in this dispute. Okay, but for maintaining the bilateral relations, so what happens, so this is about the history. Okay, so but lekin there was the thing कि in order to maintain a better relations with Sri Lanka, India recognized it as disputed and finally ceded it to Sri Lanka. This was what happened. In 1974 agreement, traditional fishing rights of Indian fishermen to fish in and around the island, they were protected. But these rights, they were given up in the 1976 agreement. So this was a little about the agreement which took place. Okay, so talking about the agreements, this is about the 1974 agreement. What is actually written in it. So it also pointed out that this boundary falls, this is basically this maritime boundary, international maritime boundary line between the countries fall 1 mile off the west coast of the uninhabited Kachativu. So this is to the 1 mile of the west coast of this island. And Article 4 of the agreement stipulated that each state shall have the sovereignty and exclusive jurisdiction and control over the waters, the islands, the continental shelf, and the subsoil on its side of maritime boundary line in the Park Strait, Park Bay, and the Kachativu Island. It's actually falling in the Sri Lankan waters. I have already shown you in the picture that this islet is actually the part of Sri Lankan waters. But the issue is that the Indian fishermen, they are not willing to give up their fishing rights. So I told you that all, see, in this article 4 it has been written that the particular state जिसकी side पर वो सब कुछ आता है, be it the islands or be it any of the like resources which are there inside उस particular country का right है. लेकिन Indian since Kachativu Island जो है वो श्रीलंका की side पे आता है, so it means India का right, Indian fishermen का right नहीं है. But because of its historical significance, Indian fishermen, they are not ready to give up on their rights of the fishing rights. Plus governments in Tamil Nadu, they have not recognized the ceding of Kachativu Island. The problem is that Indian fishermen, see, the another thing, let me tell you, why is it that the Indian fishermen are crossing the maritime boundary line? The thing is that they have almost exhausted the marine fisheries on the Indian side. Okay? Indian fishermen, they have done extensive fishing on their side. They have almost exhausted the resources. So they cross boundary line, the international maritime boundary line, to fish on the abundant resources which are there on the Sri Lankan side. Okay, so the thing is, there is use of bottom trawlers by the Indian fishermen, but Sri Lankan fishermen, they use the conventional methods, and because of the use of the bottom trawlers, there is indiscriminate fishing, there is destruction of the maritime ecology, there is also threatening of the livelihood of Sri Lankan counterparts. So that's why, see, we can easily observe कि किस तरह से political किस तरह से जो politics है, जो governments हैं, वो किस तरह से they are playing the role over here. They are also government of Tamil Nadu, how it is a stakeholder, how fishermen of both the countries are the stakeholder in this issue. So we have talked about it. Okay, so now see, this is about the issue, this is about the agreement which is there. So what are the possible solutions which can be there? See, now in the 2016, the governments of India and Sri Lanka, they proposed the establishment of this joint working group to create a hotline in Park Bay which could contribute to the better peace resolution. So this was a kind of proposal which was there in the year of 2016. Now another thing is there can be, so see this, resolving the question concerning the ownership of the Kachativu Island between this can be through the establishment of land lease agreement. There has been a political model as well, which has already been signed between India and Bangladesh over a group of island, जिसे कि तीन भागा केस कहते हैं, कि जिसमें कि what the thing is, this is between India and Bangladesh, where in 1974 India Bangladesh boundary agreement granted India the sovereignty over the Teen Bhaga. Still, a lease agreement in perpetuity was later established to allow the Bangladeshis to utilize it for the civilian purposes. See, this is a kind of model which India and Bangladesh have followed. तो इसी particular model के ऊपर this can be done in the case of Kachativu Island as well. कि sovereignty can be provided, to complete sovereignty can be provided to Sri Lanka, and it can be given on lease. Like Indians, it should be given on lease to the India. Okay, so this is how they are. They are saying कि the example of this case can be followed. So this approach could be explored as a possible solution. So because it is going to be definitely mutually beneficial to both the parties. Because if definitely if this dispute is going to be resolved, then the fishermen of both the countries, they are going to be positively impacted. Otherwise they both are getting arrested because of it, and they have to be in the jail for years. So on resolving the dispute, both are going to get benefited. Okay, so it has also been suggested that licensed Indian fishermen should be allowed to fish in Sri Lankan waters up to 5 nautical miles with reciprocal rights to the Sri Lankan fishermen in order to fish in the इंडियन एक्सक्लूसिव इकोनॉमिक जोन, कि जो लाइसेंस्ड फिशरमैन है, जो इंडिया के लाइसेंस्ड फिशरमैन है, उन्हें ये राइट दिया जाए कि दे कैन फिश इन 5 nautical miles ऑफ द इकोनॉमिक जोन ऑफ श्रीलंका, और रेसिप्रोकल राइट जो है वो श्रीलंकन फिशरमैन को भी दिया जाना चाहिए, सो दैट दे कैन ऑल्सो फिश इन द पर्टिकुलर एरिया इन 5 nautical miles up to the thing in the Indian exclusive economic zone. Okay, so this is also one of the solution which has been suggested. Conclusion में क्या चीज देखी जा सकती है? See, creating a win-win situation requires a comprehensive approach and deep negotiation between the coast guards, navy, and other authorities of the Indian and the Sri Lankan governments, with proper consultation with the Tamil Nadu government. It's imperative for the Indian government to carefully examine the factors. See, there is this thing that Indian fishermen, they were provided with 5,000 GPS devices in February 2023, so that like they do not cross the international maritime boundary line. So the government should take care, like see like what are the factors which are making them cross the maritime boundary line. See, there is this thing ki they might be having, because of there might be kind of confusion like Indian between the fishermen, like they might not know, because समुद्र में कैसे पता चल सकता है कि कहाँ से श्रीलंका स्टार्ट हो रहा है या फिर कहाँ से इंडिया स्टार्ट हो रहा है, राइट? सो देर इज दिस थिंग दैट दे हैव बीन प्रोवाइडेड विद GPS devices so that you do not cross the maritime boundary line. So this thing can be there, that governments should actually like what are the factors which could be leading Indian fishermen to enter the Sri Lankan waters, like despite being given these GPS devices. Then the another thing is ongoing fishing dispute. Definitely it is a complex issue. This is it can potentially impact the relationship between the two countries. So both countries must approach this matter with sensitivity and willingness to find a mutually beneficial solution. A comprehensive and holistic approach should be there, taking into account the concern of all the stakeholders. Like all the stakeholders should be concerned with. It should be taken care that human rights are not violated. Like they should be the Indian fishermen, the Sri Lankan fishermen. They should be treated in a appropriate manner, including the human right violation of Indian fishermen in the Park Strait. It's necessary to resolve this dispute. So these can be the concluding statements. So basically the thing is, what should be done is all the stakeholders should be taken care of in order to get into any solution. इंडियन फिशरमैन एज वेल एज श्रीलंकन फिशरमैन दे शुड बी टॉक्ड विद, क्योंकि ये बेसिकली ह्यूमैनिटेरियन इशू है. इसे ग्राउंड लेवल पर सॉल्व करना बहुत ज़रूरी है. इंडियन फिशरमैन, श्रीलंकन फिशरमैन, उनका भी इन केस ऑफ एनी काइंड ऑफ नेगोशिएशन उनके पॉइंट्स को सुनना समझना भी बहुत ज़रूरी है. Okay, so this is about the dispute of the Kachativu Island, or of the Indian fishermen issue which is there between India and Sri Lanka. So I hope this is now clear to all of you ki what exactly the issue is. I have already shown this map to you people about the maritime boundary line, about the Kachativu Island. Okay, so what we have talked about is, we have talked about the location of the island. We have seen in the map, we have talked about the maritime boundary line, under which agreements this maritime boundary line was set up, what is the actual dispute, what are the various aspects, be it the political aspects, be it the fishermen as the stakeholder. Like political aspects में various governments which are the stakeholder, fishermen में both the Indian and the Sri Lankan fishermen, and then in the ecological aspect as well कि किस तरह से marine fisheries are getting impacted because of the use of like bottom trawlers by the Indian fishermen. We have talked about this as well. So steps which are being suggested or way forward, I think steps suggested or way forward, this is one point, and then we have also talked about the conclusion. Okay, so this is all about the entire issue of the Kachativu Island, as well as the I think anything else is not needed on this topic. Everything is covered from the perspective of UPSC. Okay, various aspects we have covered entirely, we have covered it in a great detail. Okay, so next, see, although this was lately in the news, but yes, we can think like we can just give example like how India helped Sri Lanka when it needed. So that's why we can just we can just talk about it in a little of it, like little about it. We need not do it because it's like it's been 2 years of this thing, but yes, okay, we can talk about the crisis. So see, what led to the crisis, what were the reasons. So the reasons was the economic mismanagement, the corruption, जिसकी वजह से there was twin deficit, there was fiscal deficit, and there was this current account deficit as well. This is one of the reason. See, at the end of its civil war in 2009, Sri Lanka chose to focus on the providing goods to its domestic market rather than trying to boost its foreign trade. Like they did not took care of the foreign trade much, and because of which its income from export to the other countries remained low, whereas imports were growing, and because of which like Sri Lanka now imports $3 billion more than its exports every year, like because of which this current account deficit has been there. And at the end of the year of Sri Lanka, at the end of year 2019, Sri Lanka had dollar 7.6 billion foreign currency reserves, but during the crisis they dropped to, sorry, this is million, they dropped to dollar 250 million only. So earlier they were around $7.6 billion, which dropped to 250 million during the crisis. So this is how the foreign trade was impacted. Like current account deficit was there. There was fiscal deficit because of economic mismanagement and corruption. Another thing is there was introduction of big tax cuts in the year of 2019, which lost government more than $1.4 billion per year in revenues. Then is tourism, which got affected because of the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as there was this result because of the 2019 Easter bombings, which took place in Sri Lanka. Because of that, also the tourism got impacted. Another thing, ki, now when Sri Lanka's foreign currency shortages were there, when they become a serious problems, the government tried to tackle the issue by banning the import of chemical fertilizer. Chemical fertilizers का import बंद कर दिया, and the farmers उन्हें force किया गया कि वो locally sourced organic fertilizers का use करें, जिसकी वजह से अब देखो it's very obvious कि everyone should know this thing कि अगर हमने डायरेक्टली शिफ्ट कर दी टू ऑर्गेनिक फर्टिलाइजर्स, अगर हमने शिफ्ट कर दी ऑर्गेनिक फर्टिलाइजर, completely banning the chemical fertilizers, so definitely, so there were widespread crop failures. This led to like food inflation was there, right? Which Sri Lanka had to implement a food. So since there were crop failures, they have to import the food, and because of again the foreign currency shortage, the situation even worsened up. Another thing, there was Russia-Ukraine war, and because of which there was food and fuel inflation, and because of which the situation worsened. So you can observe that there are various factors which led to the economic crisis which was there in Sri Lanka. See, now important thing is, how did India help? India had helped, like India extended a lifeline assistance of $4 billion, surpassing the IMF 48-month bailout of $3 billion. India provided a credit line under 44,000 metric tons of urea, ताकि urea is a fertilizer, nitrogenous fertilizer, which was actually added to the crops for like क्रॉप प्रोडक्शन अच्छी हो जाए, जिसकी वजह से बेसिकली जो फूड इन्फ्लेशन है उस चीज को कम किया जा सके, राइट, इन ऑर्डर टू हेल्प सॉल्व द फूड क्राइसिस. सो दिस इज वन थिंग. देन various drugs, medical supplies, vegetables, sugar, etc. They were also given by India to Sri Lanka. Then there was assistance in IMF negotiations. They in there also, like India assisted Sri Lanka. So all these things, they actually generated a pro-India sentiment in Sri Lanka. Various other countries did support. Various other countries have also supported Sri Lanka in the crisis, be it China or be it other countries like US, Russia, or Japan. So these countries also, they also like gave few $100 million to Sri Lanka in the crisis. IMF did give the help to Sri Lanka. So these countries, so all the countries, they have jointly helped Sri Lanka. And majorly for us, what important point is what was the reason of the crisis we have talked about, and we have talked about how India helped. And what is more important for us is how India helped Sri Lanka. See, so this is about the economic crisis. We need not know a lot about it, but yes, these are the few important things which we must know about the economic crisis which was there in Sri Lanka. So this is all for today. We have completed the India-Sri Lanka relations topic, and in the next class we will be talking about India-Nepal relations. Okay, so our next neighbor, we will be talking about India-Nepal relations. So this was all about India-Sri Lanka. That's all for today. Thank you very much. Take care of yourself. Stay happy. Stay healthy.